Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good afternoon, assalamu alaikum, and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host Ahmed Dawaz with the latest roundup of sports today. There's a lot of things to discuss, but first of all, we start off with boxing. And whenever it's the action-packed world of boxing, we've got a lot to talk about as well with the experts. But obviously, when you talk about all eyes right now, overall the countdown has begun to Devin Garcia versus Haney and Ryan Garcia. So we're going to be talking about that in detail as well. They're set to meet in the professional ring for the first time on 20th of April. They've met 6 times in the amateur, splitting it 3 also. As far as those personal history books go, there's a lot to play for. But then again, we'll talk about that in detail as well. We'll see whatever we can explore. And then, of course, I think the odds as well. Last time they fought in January of 2015, so about 9 years until then. But like I said, that some people, including me, might tip Garcia to have this one. But then again, the guests over here might have some different odds as well. But obviously, they're the experts. So I'm just going to sit back, relax, and let them do most of the talking. So we'll talk about that in detail. Then, of course, we move on to New Zealand's tour to Pakistan, where rain washed out play for the first T20. Eventually, I think after so many delays, they decided 5 overs each, but even they didn't happen. Just 2 deliveries were bowled. Shaheen Shah Afridi got a wicket, so New Zealand were 2 for 1. But immediately rain started again and play was called off. So the match was abandoned. That means that we have a no result in that game. It's very, very disappointing. Even today, practice has been cancelled for New Zealand. And Pakistan, of course, had a rest day as well. So we'll, of course, be talking about that in detail as well, going into the second T20 International tomorrow. But the fact is that it's still disappointing if rain plays spoil sport, because the weather right now is a bit tricky in Islamabad and Rawalpindi. Then we move on to West Indies women's tour to Pakistan. The visiting side beat Pakistan women by 113 runs in the first ODI. They set a target of 270 runs. Pakistan collapsed on 156. Second ODI is going to be played this week as well. So we'll talk about that. Hayley Matthews was superb. The West Indies skipper leading from the front, 140 runs for her. Absolute superb innings. So we'll talk about that in detail as well. So starting off with boxing, of course, time now to introduce the guests. And we're very, very honored to be joined by the pride of Pakistan, somebody who's aced the sport, brought some great laurels for Pakistan. His career has been a stellar career himself as well. We always call him our champion, and certainly he is. Very honored to be joined by a professional boxer and our champion indeed as well, the pride of Pakistan, Mohammad Wasim, also known as the Falcon. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, sir?
Walaikum assalam. Alhamdulillah, I'm good.
Thank you very much for joining us on the show. And we've also been joined by our expert, a fellow anchor as well. Boxing, when talk about particularly this sport, it sort of becomes one of his hobbies as well. Always the guy to go for whenever you need a bit of knowledge regarding the sport as well. Mr. Aslam Essani joins us. Assalamu alaikum, Aslam. How are you?
Walaikum assalam. I'm doing great and super excited for the bout that's going to come in.
Well, thank you very much for joining us as well. Now, Wasim, we'll start off with you as well. When you talk about this fight, like I said, that a lot of eyes are there as well. And I've been reading a lot of material as well when you talk about Haney against Garcia. First of all, talk us through the matchup as well. One title is being defended. Otherwise, we know their amateurs record as well. How do you see this fight overall?
I think it will be a very great fight. And people say it's a 50-50 fight. I think I go with David Haney. Later rounds, unanimous decision or maybe stoppage. So if Danny Garcia go to the body, and I think he's going to win this fight easily.
That's when you've got a boxer, you can technically analyze this as well. But just before the show, luckily Hassan was also of the opinion that he's probably tipping Haney to win this one as well.
Yeah, because a lot of people thinking David Haney lost 3 times in amateurs, so that's why I think that's true. But he have the Garcia have a good confidence. If he keep his confidence high, then I think he do something. But I think last few fights when I see David Haney and his performance, I think he looks better than him.
But certainly, Aslam Essani, what would you like to add? Because like I said, alongside Wasim, you have also tipped Haney to win this one. Yeah. I'm on Garcia's end for this one. I just think that the air is the wind is blowing in his direction overall. But obviously, as Wasim also technically analyzed it, what would you like to add?
Right, so first off, we'll start off with the history of things. Ryan Garcia versus David Haney. They met in the amateurs. It was Ryan Garcia who beat David Haney 3 times in the amateurs before. And then we talk about their last matches. David Haney versus Lomachenko. It was a very close one. And then David Haney came in front and made sure that he is there for the title as well. He's already got the title. This is going to be a title bout, and then later on, whoever wins might face up with Gervonta Davis. On the other hand, if you look at Ryan Garcia, he lost to Gervonta Davis.
That was a big risk going into that.
And the body language of that person when he lost, he was totally out, and he didn't want to continue. So it takes an impact, a loss, a heavy loss, a loss like that takes an impact on the mind of the boxer. And then when you look at the face-off that happened between David Haney and Ryan Garcia, Danny Garcia is another boxer. So when you look at the face-off, David Haney has it in him to shove the other person. Two things are very important when you're facing off. One, you look at the other person, make them psych out. It's psychological. Second, when you shove the other person, you get to know two things. Whether the person is going to respond aggressively or how much the person weighs. Because it's very important when they're fighting at 140, it's going to be very important that they're strong on 140, not a weaker opponent. That tells the story. Right now, coming into this match, Haney looks very confident. Ryan Garcia, not so much. That's the reason why I'm tipping towards David Haney. And since he's coming off a win, he's not lost a single fight in his professional career. He's fought better boxers than Ryan Garcia in his whole professional career. Not talking about the amateurs over here.
Well, it's a huge difference. If you talk about some of the predictions from the world of boxing as well, CBS Sports put the prediction at 49-13 in favor of Haney against Garcia. So like I said, that the odds are certainly stacked against him as well, because we're talking about Garcia as well, Wasim, as Aslam Essani also mentioned, when he took that risk against Gervonta the Tank Davis, he lost that match courtesy of stoppage as well, and he took two body shots which were, which had immense toll on him, as Essen said as well, psychologically. Do you think that's, going with another risk right now, going against a fighter that probably on paper, when you analyze this, would probably had the better of him as well in these rounds? Yes, Wasim.
Yeah. I think people, mention Gervonta Tank Davis with David Haney. I don't think so. David Haney is better than Gervonta Tank.
No, not at all. Yes.
Gervonta Tank is a animal, and especially in 135 and 140, is very good fighter. I don't think so, anyone this time beat Gervonta Tank, even David Haney. You can't beat him, because I think if after this fight David Haney win, even I don't think so he's going to fight Gervonta Tank, because Gervonta Tank is very good, and he's fighting with, one of great fighter they call Martin. So he's also good fight, and between Gervonta Tank and Ryan Garcia, my prediction was 7th round by body shot, and
that's exactly what happened.
Exactly.
Yeah. So same. I think David Haney beat Ryan Garcia later rounds by stoppage if he go to the bodies. If he go to the bodies, that.
But Wasim, for Garcia going into this matchup as well, what should be his key plan over here, knowing what Haney can bring to the table, what he's going to do to him, as you mentioned as well, considering the dynamics of both boxes. Yeah. What should be Garcia's game plan in this fight?
I think, I know he's training one of the great trainer. I like his trainer. He's a very, very good trainer. He trained, one of the best trainers, even Amir Khan. So I think he's going to be a counter fighter. You don't want to, I don't think so you go like he was fighting with Gervonta Tank. He was very aggressive and he was pushing Gervonta Tank, So I think in this fight, he'll be stay with David Haney, because David Haney is a counter puncher. So he will stay and he will wait for him to come and counter him. And whoever good counter, I think they are going to win the fight.
For Haney as well, because as you've touched on that very critical psychological part of the fighters as well, he's carrying a lot of confidence. I mean, if you look at the record as well, defending his title 4 times, becoming the division's unified champion in June when he had that victory over Cambosos, if you look at that career overall as well, and like I said, CBS has tipped him with a huge difference to win this as well. Obviously, the odds do play a toll on your mindset as well. Considering all of that, what's the confidence he's carrying into this fight?
What's the confidence that you carried in yourself while you were picking Ryan Garcia for this?
I'm still picking Garcia. I'm telling you.
Let me tell you the only way Ryan Garcia can win this. If it goes the 12 rounds, Ryan Garcia is not winning this. 100%. I'm 100% sure because Haney is very powerful. Later in the rounds as well, he's got the stamina to go the 12 rounds altogether. Ryan Garcia, I don't see that in him. The only way Ryan Garcia might win this is through his left hook. He's got a very strong left hook. When he connects, if he connects, because of the fact that on the other hand, David Haney is some person who's beaten Lomachenko. Now, Lomachenko was a very big name coming into this fight, and it was a very close contest. And he's defended his championship. He's already a champion. For Ryan Garcia, on the other hand, if he loses this specific fight, it's going to be curtains for his career, unfortunately. Similar to what we saw in Amir Khan's case. He lost one fight to Danny Garcia, and before that he lost to Lamont Peterson. Later on kept on losing to bigger names, and at the end of the day he was all curtains, and now he's just...
Then why pick this fight, Aslam? What's the thought process going into this one as well? Now let spill the beans, let us know what you think.
It's evident. Now Danny, on the other hand, David
Haney.
Yes. David Haney, right? David Haney is a Muslim brother. That is one of the aspects I'm favoring him. On the other hand, Gervonta Tank Davis has accepted Islam as well, so Allahu Akbar. Every single boxer is becoming Muslim. There has to be a very, very strong mindset. When you're a Muslim, when you're a believer, a very strong mindset is behind it. That's one reason why I'm going for Haney in this. And then later on, when Wasim talked about Gervonta beating Haney, both Muslim brothers might see action, but then again, I am also going for Gervonta Davis if it happens, because of the fact that you're going to unify the championships then. Unified championship means that you're putting both the championships on the line. And we all as boxing fans want to see that. And we want to talk about Wasim's career as well. Let's go on that.
Absolutely, why not? Aslam, I'm sure that you're going to let us know on that insight as well. But because, you know, it becomes so important when you talk about, because there's a lot of evolution. Aslam has for years now been talking about the new evolution that's coming to boxing now with fight promotions turning to the Middle East probably. We'll stick to that as well. But it's a very important point, Wasim, because you're involved in the professional sport yourself. I want you to highlight on this, on this mental strength that Aslam talks about, where probably most of the times odds are against you, but you have to consider that it can't just be that physical routine that you've been put through, but that mental strength of a boxer, especially when we talk about that boxing is evolved right now in the modern world.
Right now boxing is mostly in Middle East. A lot of fighters coming in Dubai and UAE. Big fight is coming now with Usyk versus Tyson Fury. It's a very big fight, and I was trying to go in the same card to fight, so hopefully inshallah it will be happen. But the thing is this, right now in Saudi the smaller weights are not available right now, so hopefully next time we're gonna go and inshallah pursue my career in Middle East. But end of the day, I fight in Dubai many times. My big fights are organized in Dubai many times, and I want to say something about Danny Garcia and
David Haney and Ryan Garcia.
Ryan Garcia and David Haney. Ryan and David, if you see his last fight, both are fight in 135 pound, but they are moved now 140. I think this fight will be very, very good, and I don't think so. This fight will be a 12th round. Will be the knockout in later rounds. Like 10 and 11.
Well, just give us your prediction, because you're spot on every time. Why not help us take our picks as well this time? What's your prediction?
Let's do this.
My prediction is David Haney later rounds.
Later rounds.
Yeah.
Stoppage.
Yeah.
Aslam Essani, what about you? Do you agree? Are you going to go with the professionals?
David Haney, 12 rounds, unified decision.
Unified decision, simple as that. So I think
it will be happen. Maybe it will happen. But I think because I was thinking when you guys was talking, I was thinking this fight is not in 135 pound. This is in 140.
Yes.
So that's why if one pound you can move in 1 pound, then you can
that
perform
makes
very well.
that makes Ryan Garcia also a very good contender. That's why they're saying it's a 50-50 fight, because it's on 140 pounds. You're much more stronger than that of 135. So Ryan Garcia and Haney, if it goes 12 rounds, for me, because of the fact that David Haney is not a knockout artist, but he has the stamina to go the 12 rounds.
But it's important to analyze this for our viewers as well, and Wasim can do that better. That Wasim, once you're moving up the category, like you said as well, they're moving up the pounds. What's the change in routine going there as well, and what are some of the challenges that you encounter initially?
You know, I'm telling you about myself. If I fight in 112 pound, then I go by decision in a 12th round. If I move to 115, then mostly if you see my records in box rec, you know, in 115 and 118, more knockout, you know, more stoppage. So that's why if you go 3 pounds or 4 or 5 pounds over, then you perform very well.
That is one reason why Ryan Garcia was complaining about the Gervonta Davis fight, that he was feeling a little low because of the fact that he had to go through the process of making sure that he's 135 rather than his natural weight, that is 140.
Does he get that slight advantage then if he's back to 140?
Absolutely, I agree. He has a chance. That's the reason why we're saying it's 50-50. If it's going to be a knockout, it's going to be from Ryan Garcia.
But you know, Wasim just said that he doesn't see it going to the 12 rounds, so that just gives me a little bit of a shimmer of hope as well, because they're moving up the category as well. But Wasim, talk us through that routine as well then, because if you're both of these boxers, what would be going for them as well once they're moving up the weight categories as well? If you talk about, you know, reaching 140 pounds, do you think both of the fighters have this in their mind that, you know, it's not going to go 12 rounds, knockout, and because of that probably we're going to see more of the aggression from both sides as well?
Yeah, but you know, the thing is this now, you know, this is a new thing, you know, they are closed, the dehydration close or this something. I don't know is a dehydration close or no. I really don't know about this, but you know, 5 pounds matter. So that's why both fighters very good fighters, and David Haney is good puncher. So this 5 pounds make fight, you know, change, you know,
certainly
stoppage.
Well, Wasim, for all of your fans as well, including ourselves, we want to know, like you highlighted as well, what's up next, how's your training going, what's been happening throughout the routine as well. Do let us know, especially your fans and our viewers, what is next for you and what can Pakistan look forward to?
I'm training every day, twice, and even in this Ramadan I was training, and 5 months I train in my camp Scotland, and I just back in Ramadan, and I'm doing my training. A few promotion issues, but it'll be sorted out soon, and I'm looking forward, and I'm signing a big fight soon, and you'll see me in few months. I'll be back in the ring, in the action. So after one fight, definitely I'm going for world title shot. Inshallah,
we hope so. So Ehsan, the Falcon is coming back. I think the word should spread from now onwards.
Absolutely, for all the listeners, all the viewers that are viewing us on PTV World's Sports Extra, Mohammad Wasim, the Falcon, is back. He's an open agent. You can sign him wherever you want to. He's going to go represent and then make sure he's a title contender and win titles for Pakistan and make it glory again.
Certainly. Thank you very much, Ehsan and Wasim, for joining us. Wasim, especially thank you to you as well for taking out time. All the very best, and certainly I think we're all ready. We want to see the Falcon back in action, and I'm sure that a lot of prayers and best wishes are there for you as well. On that note, we of course go towards a short break, but stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Sports Extra. Joining us now in studios is cricket commentator, international broadcaster, presenter, and our sports expert, Aslam Essani. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum Assalam Ahmed. I'm fine.
Thank you for joining us. Now, before we continue, we've got a report on the proceedings of yesterday, Pakistan versus New Zealand. A bit on the disappointing note, the weather, but let's take a look and come back.
The first T20 match between Pakistan and New Zealand abandoned due to rain just after 2 balls were bowled. New Zealand made 2 runs for the loss of 1 wicket when umpires called off the match owing to rain. The match was reduced to 5 overs for each innings as rain consumed most of the match time. The second T20 match will be played on April 20th, Saturday, at the same venue. This series is vital to Pakistan because Babar Azam is back as the captain of the white ball side after giving up the role following the 2023 ODI World Cup. Mohammad Amir and Imad Wasim, who have recently withdrawn their retirement, are again in the race. Usman Khan, Abrar Ahmed and Mohammad Irfan Khan made their T20 international debuts against New Zealand.
Right, there you have it, all you need to know. Actually, there was nothing much to know because rain did play spoil sport. We only had 2 deliveries. But interesting that Pakistan actually went with some sort of experiments that we were saying that, they can probably try some of these new players. But it was adamant, I think, what we've seen, that if they're going to play Usman, they're going to play him at number 4. But once Fakhr returns, what happens then? I think that's a big question for the World Cup. And then bringing Irfan at number 6. Abrar also getting a debut, that was okay, but Usama Mir is the highest wicket taker. What about him then? So I think there were a bit choices that we need to talk about. Asif, nothing much to say about what happened yesterday. Even today's practice session was called off due to rain. It's been crazy weather in Islamabad, Rawalpindi. But what would you like to add about the way Pakistan unfolded their playing 11?
Well, I think that I have attended the Babar Azam's press conference. If you see his body language, once again, he came up with a smiling face, and he was quite confident and giving answer bravely, which is a really good thing, after so many criticism over the selection, and everyone was talking about Imad and Wasim. I think that the way Pakistan started, and I must appreciate that Azhar Mahmood said during the press conference that we'll give chances to the new players, and they've given 3 new chance to the 3 new players. 3 debutants were there, but unfortunately the rain came over there, and only we had 2 balls. And good thing is that the Shaheen Shah Afridi, he was under immense pressure, and he got a wicket, which is really good for Pakistan. And now I think that when we talk about the overall situation, what's going on, I have seen the training session of Pakistan cricket team, that the players are okay. They were I haven't seen any sort of misunderstandings, or the rumors were going over the social media that the players, they were talking to each other. Everything was looking okay when we talk about the training sessions, when we talk about the players sitting in the dugout or in the dressing room. We have seen that the way Rizwan was talking to his juniors, Babar Azam and the rest of the players, even Iftikhar. So I think the environment is okay, looks confident, looks okay. Let's see that how it will progress, because I still am confused. You have asked this question during your intro, that what will happen with Fakhr Zaman, that if Usman will come as an opener, and if you will either you will drop to Fakhr Zaman, or he will remain the part of playing 11.
Because if you allow me to interrupt, what we saw yesterday was, if we gauge that more or less Pakistan is going with the same traditional combination, that Babar Saim opens, Rizwan at number 3. So eventually the only change we see is either at 4 or number 6. And if Usman does perform as per expectations, then that probably signals that Fakhr might not make it to the side as well.
Well, then it would be really interesting situation. And the 2 names I'll take, and they would be really worried about the situation, and that would be Aqib Javed and Atif Rana, to be very honest. Sorry to say, but because the Lahore Qalandars, they always claim that the Haris Rauf and Fakhr Zaman, this is their product. And that's why if Fakhr Zaman won't be in this side, and same with the Haris Rauf, then they won't be happy. For me, Fakhr Zaman, to be very honest, that tried and tested and give chances to the new player, and if they could do something better for Pakistan, why not, dear? Why you are just sticking towards your plan? Why not plan B, C, or why you are not thinking out of the box?
Usman's inclusion into the side at number 4, that probably, for his sake as well. Because if you look at Pakistan's traditional style of playing, Saim would be going after everything. Babar's going to stay in between as well. Rizwan and Babar, if they enjoy a partnership, we know how that goes as well. That's clinical for Pakistan. They play, very solid brand of cricket. Usman usually might end up having to just come and accelerate immediately. That might be the case for a number 4. We've seen that eventually happening. Or the other scenario might be Pakistan have a collapse and he needs to not just only build an innings, keep the wicket, but put something on the run rate as well. So in both cases, it's going to be very tricky for him. But because what our sources tell us that he's been given an surety of those 12 matches that Pakistan is playing before the World Cup. So that means that I think not just his inclusion into the side, but that career at large is going to rely on what happens in these games.
Well, this is Pakistan cricket. 1 minute up, 1 minute down. And I think you cannot say that if someone has given the surety to the Usman Khan, the things will be going in the smooth way. I'm not sure. If it will be happening, I'll be happy. But one thing is really important, Ahmed, that is that this is international cricket. Usman hasn't played international cricket yet. That was his first game, and he will play definitely tomorrow as well. So I think that when you talk about the pressure, when you talk about that the performances on playing on number 4 and playing in number 1 or number 2 position in franchise cricket or maybe some other league cricket, in international cricket, if you're coming on number 4 with the same pressure, I'm not sure that either he'll be able to perform well or not. But you know that all the best wishes with him. It would be a great test for not only for Usman but also for the Abrar as well, because when we talk about that the spin and his magical bowling, and he always known as a magician. So won't be easy for him. All the pressure on those 2 youngsters like Abrar and Usman. Especially I'm talking about Usman because this is international cricket. That the boundaries, that the pitch, the behavior of media, the behavior of international media, and the behavior of rest of the team. Definitely it would be changed. So not easy for the players coming from the franchise cricket in the international cricket, and we're our expectations are high.
Just a personal question, Asif. This is something that I want to ask you personally. Why Abrar Ahmed and why not Arif Yaqub?
Well, I think it's a tricky question. For me, if you ask me, I'll go with the Arif Yaqub. Though Abrar has played better and much more cricket in the in the domestic circuit, and in the previous season, in the last season, he was the highest wicket taker, and I have watched him very closely. He's such a very good turner of the ball sometimes, and he has some magical deliveries as well. His wrong one, his flipper, and each and everything is okay. But for me, if you ask me, I'll go with Arif Yaqub just because of his bravery. He's a brave bowler. In any condition, he just comes up with the proper leg spin, flighted deliveries, and he pushes to the batter to go for a big shot, and then he takes the wicket. So for me, Arif Yaqub, and I think you'll ask this question to Wahab Riaz.
Certainly. Or the team of select. Wahab Riaz, the senior manager, or
he's selector as well.
The selector. So
yes,
I need to be clear about domains as well. But that brings us to women's cricket now as well. We'll talk about that. Pakistan, of course, losing their first match to the West Indies. We've got a report on that. Let's take a look.
West Indies women defeated Pakistan women in the opening ODI by 113 runs. West Indies captain Hayley Matthews scored a career-best 140 not out, her 5th career century in 81 matches. Earlier, West Indies won the toss and elected to bat first at the National Stadium, Karachi. West Indies women set a victory target of 270 runs for the loss of 8 wickets in the allotted 50 overs. Sadia Iqbal and Tuba Hassan picked 2 wickets each for Pakistan. In reply, Pakistan women were all out for just 156 runs in 35.5 overs. For Pakistan, Tuba Hassan scored 25, Muniba Ali added 22 and captain Nida Dar made 19 runs. Hayley Matthews picked 3 wickets for West Indies. Skipper Hayley Matthews declared player of the match for her outstanding performance. The second ODI between two sides in a 3-match series will be played on April 21 at the same venue.
Well, there you have it. The visitors have the better of us. They're 1-0 up in the 3-match ODI series, which is part of the ICC Women's Championship as well. Asif, disappointing result for Pakistan. I think completely one-sided game. A lot to applaud for Hayley Matthews and the West Indies team.
Well, I think that she stood, she fought, she played really well. And if you talk about her innings, that was brilliant, incredible actually. And I was discussing to my couple of other friends that the way she was playing with the straight bat and not taking any sort of pressure, and you know that the small partnership with her other colleagues, I think that was fantastic. And when you are making 140 or 150 deliveries, including 15 boundaries and a maximum, just see his approach. That was see her approach. That was, the approach was only one thing. That was to stay on the pitch. That pitch was really good for the batting, you know. And I was just listening to the commentators that in the second time it won't be easy for the batters to, you know, just play with the straight bat. But
she scored 140 and 11 Pakistani players together scored 156.
Well, that's the difference. That's the difference. You know, when we talk about the batters like Matthews and Campbell, why I'm talking about, I would love to watch her again and again. Why? Just because she was playing towards the extra cover, not playing across the line, just, you know, just chasing the spin. And our spinners, Tuba, Nidadar and other bowlers, they were bowling okay, but you know that the only thing was that they were just trying to take singles, and that's a problem with the Pakistani batters. Sidra Amin, the way she got out, actually played a cross shot with the cross bat. That was a dipping full toss delivery. She could have played with the straight bat. She could have gone for the single, and same problem with the other batters, Nidadar, the skipper, and you know that Bisma Maroof, what she was trying to do actually, I don't know. You have played plenty of cricket now. Now you're a senior pro, senior team member, and former captain as well. When you're playing this kind of shot on a straighter delivery, looks like that you're not taking it serious, to be very honest. That so the confidence and when we talk about the team behavior, that wasn't up to the
mark.
mark.
Most of them have played plenty of cricket up till now. I think you can't just call them an inexperienced side anymore.
No, this is what I'm saying, that they have played plenty of cricket, especially Bisma Maroof, Nidadar, Sidra Amin, Alia Riaz. So this is the first assignment of Alia Riaz after her marriage, and congratulations, and we wish her good luck. But I think that was the Pakistani batters, they didn't play well.
Absolutely. Well, Asif, thank you very much for joining us. That, of course, wraps up Sports Extra. From me and the entire team, it's goodbye for now.